Hi, and welcome to another edition of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And our judicial system is broken beyond repair. It no longer protects us. I have done many videos on the police, on how they are lazy or inconsiderate, or often just plain corrupt. I have done videos on the overly lenient sentences judges give for sometimes very awful, serious crimes. And now the parole boards feel finally free to release the most awful people onto the streets to commit heinous crimes. We're going to have a look at an article now, and I warn you before we get there that it is very upsetting and very graphic. This is not a pleasant story that you're about to hear, but it is important, and it relates directly to the judicial system that we have and that we need to change. Thank you. Let's look at this article. This is the stuff of nightmares. A UK man gets a life sentence. What that means is not what you think. For R-ing a mother and her 14-year-old daughter days after being released from prison. The parole board, whoever signed off on his release, needs to go to prison for exactly the same amount of time as he does. Because they are complicit. They released him to do this. A Welshman received a life sentence on Monday after he admitted to R-ing a mother before forcing her to watch him R her 14-year-old daughter. Joshua Carney, 28, pleaded guilty to 13 offences, including 6 offences of R in a Cardiff Crown Court, BBC News reported. While he received a life sentence, and they've put that in quotes because we know what that actually means, Carney will be eligible for release after 10 years, as is typically the case under the UK's lax, I would suggest, non-existent judicial system. So he's already committed one set of crimes, gone to prison. These lefty do-gooder board of... I can't even say the words I want to say. Parole board, let's be polite. Parole board have let him out to do this crime. In 10 years, he'll be 38. He'll be let out again, and he'll do it again. Every single member of the parole board, everyone who signed off on releasing him, and the original judge needs to go to jail and be charged with the same offence and have that on their record because they have caused this directly by letting him out. 5 days before the horrific crime occurred, Carney had been released from prison after serving 8 years for a spree of burglaries in Wales, according to The Guardian. At approximately 6:45 a.m. on the morning of March the 1st, Carney forced his way into the mother's house after asking the woman if he could call a taxi. He then locked himself inside the house and proceeded to assault the mother before R-ing her in the living room. Hearing her mother's screams, the 14-year-old daughter called the authorities, believing her mother had been... You can read the word. Can't say it. But with a pointy thing, yeah? Moments later, Carney attempted to break into the girl's room. Her mother told her daughter to open the door, fearing the attacker may permanently damage them if she did not do so. Noticing the daughter had called the police, he proceeded to R both the girl in front of her mother, saying, "Watch me, look what I'm doing to her," before R-ing the mother a second time. Before leaving, Carney S.A.'d the daughter again, telling her, "This is your punishment for phoning the police." And as the police arrived at the house, the career criminal was arrested and taken into custody. Carney admitted he took spice before the assault and claimed he could not recall his actions, though he pled guilty to all charges. I think he is a piece of degenerate scum. Judge Tracy Lloyd-Clarke expressed her disgust towards Carney regarding his crimes before handing down the totally inadequate 10-year sentence. It says life there, but we know the truth. She told him the assault was deliberately sadistic and no doubt done to satisfy your desires, and your abusive remarks are indicative of your attitude. One of the R's was punishment for phoning the police. Lloyd-Clarke acknowledged that while he was under the influence of spice, he was still in control of his actions, indicating they were thorough and deliberate. Your offending on that day was horrific. It was the stuff of nightmares, the judge said. Well, if that was the case, why didn't you give him 30 years? You've got that power. The mother told the court that she was experiencing recurring nightmares and noted she hadn't had a full night's sleep since the attack. In a statement to the court through a barrister, the 14-year-old girl said she had lost all trust in people following the attack. I have lost all trust in males in particular, she added. I would always give my dad a hug and a kiss, and now I don't feel I can do that anymore. I feel disgusted. Kelly Huggins of the CPS commended the women for how they conducted themselves during the investigation. Now, I'm going to come up here and then I'm going to make some comments, so be prepared. I am very angry and I'm disgusted with that. I'm disgusted that I even share a planet with things like that. And hopefully we will not be sharing the planet with things like that for very much longer. Whatever he gets, it's not enough. It really isn't. And if someone in jail was to do the good deed, I don't think any of us would lose sleep over it. Think about that girl. Think about her life having been traumatized so badly, having had any kind of proper family life utterly destroyed. She cannot even relate to her own father now. But in such cases, we have to look at how this came about. And as I said originally, this was because he was let go out of prison. He didn't receive a sufficiently long sentence the first time. He has certainly not received a sufficiently long sentence for the second occasion. And it's the 10 years' time, he'll be 38, he'll still be strong and young, he can come out and he can do it again. We need to start imposing jail sentences in this country that mean something. And when a judge says 40 years, 50 years, they mean 40 years or 50 years without parole. And life should mean the life you have, not just an arbitrary figure that which somebody will decide one day that's enough, you can go. There must be hard life, meaning the rest of your life. We as a society deserve better, and we haven't got a judiciary, we haven't got a police force, and we haven't got a parole system designed to cope with these animals. It's time we did. Thanks for listening. If you like what you hear and see on the channel, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications of future output, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video, and until next time, stay safe, stay well, protect everyone you love, and goodbye.